Myron ended up going on Jubilee. And if you guys know anything about Myron, is that he has a very poetic way of invoking particular emotions in people. And so we're going to be watching this Jubilee, not reacting to it, but we're going to watch a couple of segments that I thought were very interesting and very telling of his philosophy. Let's go ahead and get into the video.
And the thing is that most fat people, not all, but most, have never even seen their abs. They've never seen what their body is capable of. They've never been actually happy with their physique. And once you get that taste, you're never gonna wanna go back. And then on top of that, you're gonna wanna go ahead and tell all those fat asses that you were once friends with, you need to get in shape. This is awesome. But the reality is we live in this crazy world where we coddle fat people, we coddle idiots, we coddle morons, and we don't hold anybody accountable, and we allow mediocrity to strive in the West. And I think we need to go back to shaming fat people. We need to go back to making fun of them.
Now, to a certain degree, I disagree with Myron, okay? I don't think that you have to shame anybody when it comes to the equation of losing weight, okay? I think that shaming is not an effective way. If anything, I feel like it just creates inhibitions in the relationship. And not only that, it also makes the person very reclusive. But with that being said, I don't want to talk about the nitty gritty about that. I want to instead showcase to you guys that there was a caller who ended up calling out Fresh and told Fresh, "You're fat."
I am your fan. I'm rooting for you. But despite the work that you said that you put it in, you're not getting a result.
How do you know?
You have.
No. How do you know?
I'm looking at you. I could. All I have to do is just look at your face. You have fat on your face.
I don't know about you guys, but I would say that that's holding someone accountable for their actions. Would you not? The reason why I bring it up is because this caller attempts to hold Fresh accountable. But what does Myron do? Instead of just letting this caller hold Fresh accountable or even mildly shame him, Myron feels the need to step in and attempt to rationalize the situation.
Okay, so then why you stop, Fresh?
Nigga, I was doing shit. Oh, I wasn't focused.
Eating? You focus.
See,
look, man, I don't think it really matters to see why he stopped. The point is that he's on the train now and he's been going for 4 or 5 months.
You are so focused on my health, right?
Did you see how they just started scrambling? How Fresh, he was about to go on the offense, and then of course Myron was about to go on defense. Like, if these guys were running around the room, they probably would have ran into each other, because this signifies to me that they rarely ever get held accountable. Because the minute that a caller ends up holding one of them accountable, mainly Fresh, they really don't know how to respond. Except Myron, I'll give it to him. He knows how to respond, but my dude, you really think that stepping in for Fresh is the correct move? And Fresh is no better either. Fresh, what he ends up doing, he ends up insulting the caller, telling him that he's obsessed with him. You can create a bingo card with all of Fresh's responses and guarantee a win, because he'll use the same responses over and over again. But the reason why I bring this up, Myron stated that we should bring back shaming, we should bring back accountability.
No, we need to bring shaming back.
Okay.
We need to bring shaming back in so many other regards besides obesity. We need to do it with sluts. We need to shame fat people. We need to shame everybody.
You have somebody holding Fresh, your boy, accountable. Why don't you just let it happen instead of stepping in and attempting to rationalize it? Because if your purpose in defending Fresh is to spare him from criticism and shame, then you're not exactly doing your friend a favor, and most importantly, you're not exactly standing on principle. So don't you think that if this caller is holding Fresh accountable and he's mildly shaming him, don't you think that it would speed up the process for Fresh to get in shape? Now I want to go ahead and reinforce my point that I don't think that Myron stands on these very general principles. There's always specifics. And I know that Myron understands that there are specifics. Problem is that the way he describes it just makes it sound like it's just very black and white. Myron also stated that someone who is plus size also has a lack of character because they have no control over their own actions when it comes to food.
In general, being fat is unacceptable because you control every single morsel of food that goes into your mouth.
Okay.
It shows a lack of discipline, it shows a lack of character, it shows a lack of temperance, and when you're fat, it's an outward manifestation of your inadequacies.
He also said that people just like to make excuses.
But yeah, so let's talk about, let's hit the first part, tools. What are the tools? The tools are simply knowledge, which you can get for free on the internet. If you have the ability and the discipline to go out there and get the knowledge, then you're gonna lose weight. It's just that simple. It's just that people wanna always make excuses for why, oh, my feelings, oh, I don't know what, you don't know what people are going through, blah, blah, blah. No. You can watch your calories, you can go to the gym, you have time to do it. People just like to make excuses.
And to prove that people are just making excuses, Myron stated that he ended up having his own journey. He ended up gaining weight, and then he ended up systematically losing it through discipline and knowledge.
I dieted down. It took me about 7 months. I systematically did it, control my calories, tracked my macros, tracked my protein, carbs, fats, and systematically lost 1 to 2 pounds per week.
So you chose to gain up to 250.
Yeah,
you were
so
naturally
I've been in all
beforehand.
spectrums. Like, I'm naturally skinny.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna get fat as an experiment.
Yeah.
Did it, and then I was like, all right, now I'm gonna lose the weight. And then all I did was just track my calories, ate the same food every single day.
Yeah.
Went to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, and everything was controlled, and it got done. Was it monotonous? Of course. Was it boring?
No,
Of
yeah,
course.
I agree with you there.
Now, congratulations to Myron on his journey. Now, if he ran up to me and shouted high five, I would only give him a 2, because he already has the tools of discipline and has the knowledge to combat such a situation. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, they don't have that discipline or the knowledge. I want to go ahead and allow Eric Janicki to articulate it, because I think he does a much better job than I do.
You came from a fit place, and like deciding to bulk, like that's a conscientious decision to gain weight. Like you already have those habit routines and skills in order to stay in shape, and then you use those same skills you had to pull back on the calories and knowledge you had.
Absolutely. I agree with Eric, and I'm sure that a lot of people on that panel also agree with Eric. And you know who else ironically also agrees with Eric? Myron himself. Remember that caller that attempted to call out fresh? Well, believe it or not, when Myron was rationalizing it to the caller, he mentioned not exactly word for word, but he mentioned a synonymous idea to what Eric mentioned.
But bro, you gotta look at. I've been training for fucking years, decade plus.
And this is me, no protein, no steroids, no creatine, nothing. Just pure training.
And I'm
in the
sitting
gym.
down. I'm sitting down. Y'all can see my abs visible. You know what I mean? So, bro, this took damn near 2 decades almost to build. So we can't hold them to the same standard as me, dude.
Bro, the only reason why you're doing that is because Fresh is your homie. If that was any random person, you wouldn't have stepped in for sure. I mean, dude, what happened to accountability? What happened to shaming? I thought you said we needed them. We needed those tools. Your boy's being shamed. He's being held accountable. That would have accelerated the process, at least according to you. But it's no surprise that Myron even understands that everybody just has a different path. And to me, dude, I agree with that. And I don't know, I guess to him, he just wanted to create a viral moment, because he also ended up saying this.
I mean, if I was president, hell, I'd put all of them in a fat concentration camp so they can concentrate on dieting and exercising.
What? If you're wondering if his brain auto-corrected that phrase or word, I can assure you that that word was handpicked with care.
Let me be clear. I'm talking about a concentration camp where they're concentrating on diet and exercise.
No, man, listen. I feel like Myron has just been watching way too many World War II documentaries. But I will say that it's actually pretty creative. You know, it's going to get people talking for sure. But it's just concentration camps, man. For real. Overall, I don't think that shaming is effective at all. If anything, it creates reclusivity amongst plus size people. It makes them not want to be social with others because they believe that people in society see them as disgusting. So when they do lose a couple of pounds, like 5 or 6, they feel like they can go and talk to people, even though it's just 5 or 6, because they feel like they are less disgusting. It really does impact a person's mind and how they see themselves when someone is shamed for the way they look. Emotional obstacles are probably the hardest to overcome because those are intangible. You can't really physically interact with them. Instead, they're just more internally. How can plus size people really give themselves the time to channel those emotions if oftentimes they don't have any support group because they believe that people don't want to associate with them? So what do? Well, they consume foods that definitely stimulate the brain in ways where they release dopamine, serotonin. When you're feeling, and those are feel-good chemicals. When you feel good, do you really think that you want to leave the food, especially when society is rejecting you? I don't think so, man. And these obstacles are always going to be accompanied with other obstacles as well, because I know that food one with the serotonin, I know it's a very basic obstacle, but remember, it's always accompanied with so many other obstacles that are just playing a factor into a person's well-being. Yeah, so I mean, this whole issue is very complex, but I think that Myron overall, he's I don't know what the word is. I think that he's just kind of wobbly when it comes to this. I feel like he doesn't have a good standing point. I'm sure that like in his life he's enacted certain behaviors that contradict this or either support it, but honestly I don't really know. I don't keep track of Myron's entire life, but nonetheless, yeah, this is the impression that I've gotten overall. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you guys want to follow me, go ahead, go to my about section. I have my link to my Instagram and my Twitter. Follow me. And yeah, guys, that's all I have for you guys. And yeah, hopefully you guys learned something today.